Hi everyone, this is Lamarana. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like and click on the notification bell. I want to talk to you today. I am not very happy. I'm a little bit frustrated with what is happening in my country, especially what our government is doing. The responsibility of the government is to safeguard the interests and the livelihoods of the Gambian people. But with this government that we have in place, it is an utter disaster. They are a failure, they are a disgrace to the entire country. There are so many things that are going wrong in my country, my beloved country, the Gambia. And I think anyone who is a genuine Gambian or friends of the Gambia should be concerned about this, and we should speak out. But not only speak out, we need to act swiftly, because we cannot allow the status quo to continue. If you have an irresponsible government in place that don't know what they are doing, it is the responsibility of the citizens to take charge. We voted this government into power. We gave them the mandate to represent our interests. And if we see that the government is not doing that, it is our responsibility to hold them responsible. Gambians, I want us to understand that freedom is not giving. Democracy is not given to anyone on a silver platter. It is going to be our responsibility to demand, to ask and fight for democracy, freedom and development that we want in our country. Certain things that are happening, I listened to my brother, somebody whom I respect very much, Nyang Jai. He is a great Gambian. He is always talking about issues affecting the Gambia. And I said, you know what, today I want to add my voice to what my brother Nyang Jai is already doing. As a country, we have to be careful the kind of people that we choose to lead us. Leadership is not an easy responsibility. The mistake that we made in 2016 was we were only interested in taking out one person, and that one person was former President Yahya Jammeh. There was no contingency plan to make sure that after he left, we will have the necessary change that we need in the Gambia. Today, we are 3.5 years into this new government. Things are getting worse by the day. Why should we allow such a thing happen in our country? We are talking about the new Gambia. For me, there is no such thing as the new Gambia. It is same old Gambia that we had 22 years ago under that brutal dictatorship. It is the same Gambia that we have. The fact that you have freedom to speak out alone is not enough, because that right is not going to give you your daily bread. What is more important today in the Gambia is about economic independence. We have to own what belongs to us in the country. But of late, what we have seen the Chinese people creeping into our country slowly. And these people are very smart, because what they do is they give grants to the government. But when you check diplomacy, there is nothing as a grant. Nothing is given for free. If somebody gives you a piece of, cloth, and they says, look, this is for you, I ask nothing from you, the person is not lying. Is lying to you actually, because there will come a day that person will come to you to ask for a favor, and he expects you to stand by his or her side. So our government should be careful when they are receiving these grants from foreign powers, because the way diplomacy works and the way they are behaving and the way they are representing us as a country is disheartening. Leadership is a trade. Leadership is a craft. If you want to go into politics, you have to get the skills. You have to know the game itself. We cannot elect fools to represent us in our government. We cannot have people who are corrupt as our representatives in the government. We cannot have people who are selfish representing us in the government, because at the end of the day, what they do is to serve their personal interests. Greed is a big issue in the Gambia. Our officials don't give a damn about the ordinary people. Every day the living standard of the ordinary people in the Gambia is going down. And how long do we have to stand by and see our leaders behaving in such despicable manner? My brother talked about the golden lead in the Gambia. I remember 2 years ago, the people of Gunjur protested against the environmental destruction that is taking place along the beach. The government gave it a deaf ear. They don't want to listen to what the people are talking about. What right does golden lead have to come to the Gambia, invest, but not only that, destroy our environment at our own expense? At the end of the day, if the conditions are unattainable, they will fly back to their country, leave us with that mess to clean. But this is what I have for my Gambian brothers and sisters. We have to hold this government responsible, and we cannot just be spectators. We cannot just provide lip service. Talking alone is not going to cut it. We have to act. And what do we need to do? Let's get out on the street. If it means days, weeks, or even months, let's make this government responsible. We have seen what happened in the Middle East in 2011, the Arab Spring. I'm not advocating for any violence. I'm not advocating for any lawlessness or disorder. But what I'm saying is, it is our right to protest. If the government doesn't want to listen to us, we have to make the government listen to us, because we vote them into power. They are nothing without us. So if we give them a responsibility to carry out on our behalf, if they are not fulfilling that responsibility, it is our duty as citizens to hold them responsible. We have over 20,000 people living in Gunjur. We have people all over this country. Let us mobilize and go out there and demand that, that golden lead factory be shut down permanently, because it is affecting the livelihoods of Gambians on the beach. Now, if you should go to the beach, it smells nasty. The stench alone is unbearable. What right have golden lead to do such an environmental damage in our country? Who are they? Even if It was a Gambian-owned company. We should not have allowed that. Much more having a foreign company coming to our country doing such an ugly thing. And we are just standing by looking, not doing anything. But our officials are the biggest problem because they are being corrupted by these foreign companies that are coming to the Gambia to exploit our resources. Our fishing sector, our fisheries sector today is not benefiting the Gambians. Few weeks ago, I made a video about investment opportunities within the fisheries sector. And I made complaint about the agreement that the Gambia government signed with the European Union for 6 good years to explore our marine resources. For what? Every year they are going to give us 550,000 euros. A chicken change. It's like a drop in the ocean. And we Gambians, our government is comfortable with such silly arrangements. It is not in our interest. We are a democracy. We should promote the interests of Gambia first. And our parliamentarians went on to ratify that agreement between the Gambia and the European Union. Who are you representing? I bet most of you in that parliament don't know your job, because as a people's representative, there are certain decisions before you take it. You go back to your constituency and consult the people. What is happening in the Gambia is saddening. As a Gambian, I wish we could do better, because we can, but we just don't want to do it. Corruption is a big issue. This government is an utter failure. And just to remind ourselves, the ex-president, he said, if he leaves this country, there'll come a day people will cry and wish he never left. And now, unfortunately, that is what is happening. Because with all his, all the ugly things that he did in the Gambia, the atrocities that he committed, the people that he killed, the people that he jailed, the people that, he exiled. But when it comes to the interests of the Gambia, he don't sit on the side. He don't sit on the fence. He is there to protect the interests of the Gambia. Today, the Gambia is being taken advantage of by our neighbors. People are doing whatever they want in that country. Security is a problem. Corruption is on the increase every day. Land issues in the Gambia is becoming one of the biggest issues also. Our government has failed to come up with a proper policy to govern land ownership in the Gambia. I am fortunate to live in the United States of America. A lot of Gambians in the Gambia cannot afford to buy a home now in the Combos, a piece of land, because land has turned out to be the diamond in the Gambia. The government failed to come up with a housing plan to house our civil servants in the country. How can you serve your country for 20, 30 years? After retirement, you still cannot have a home, a place that you call home. During the First Republic, the government had a very good plan to house our civil servants. That's why we have the Canifing Estate, the Kotu layouts and so. Under Yaya Jammeh, they started with Yarambamba Estate in Yundum, but the entire project was hijacked by greed. Instead of, providing housing for Gambians, they decided to sell it to the highest bidder. Now housing is becoming a problem in the Gambia. Land is an issue in the Combos. The government should come up with a strategic plan wherein they are providing housing, affordable housing, quality and affordable housing for our civil servants who sacrifice their entire life to work for the Gambia. But today, it's only Gambians who live in the diaspora and then other diasporans, be it black or white, who can afford to buy a piece of land in the Combos and build a house. An empty piece of land, an empty piece of plot in the Combos now is going for $500,000, $1 million or more. Tell me, how many Gambian civil servants can afford to buy land in the Gambia today? And this is one of the reasons why we are having the corruption that we are having in the Gambia. Because shelter is a basic necessity for every individual. Because as a person, once you start building a family, the first thing that you want is to have a home. Why are we making having home acquisition in the Gambia almost impossible for majority of the Gambians? Why does it have to be this way? Because we have a very irresponsible government. Gambians, this coming election in 2021 is a do or die moment for us. We need to change our leadership in the country, because the leaders that we have right now representing us, they are not fit for purpose. They are there for their selfish interests. They don't know what they are doing. It is time for us to speak the truth. And I'm ready for anything. I have the right to speak about my country, to say things that I feel is going wrong in my country. It is not just because I live in the United States of America. No. And even if I'm in the Gambia today, I am going to talk about the same issues. Gambians, we have to stand up for what is right. Let's get out on the street and make this government responsible. We are not asking for change of government through other means. We want to change government in the Gambia through democratic means, that is through the ballot. But we cannot wait and see what is happening in our country without we protesting. Because if we should take to the street or the streets in the Gambia in large numbers and demand for what we feel is right for the country, I promise you the government is going to listen to us. Because we have seen what recently happened in Mali. We don't want to see that happen in the Gambia. And I think what happened in Mali was terrible. It should never happen in any country in Africa, because we want to go beyond that. But also, the government has to listen to the people. If you don't want to have your citizens on the street protesting, do right by your citizens. Do justice by your citizens. It's easy. We give you a mandate. If you're not capable, please relinquish that power that we gave you. This transitional government in the Gambia was supposed to bring about democracy and institutional reform in the country. But today, the president is busy campaigning and then putting tentacles everywhere to make sure that the forthcoming elections, he will be elected to lead us again for another 5 years or so. But guess what? The power lies in our hands as Gambians because we have the ballot box. Those Chinese people in our country don't have the ballot box. People who are not Gambians, who are coming to Gambia, who are not genuine friends of the Gambia, don't have that ballot box. Our ballot box is our power. Don't sell it for the dollars. $10,000, $20,000 is not worth it. Let's elect people who we believe would serve our interests in the forthcoming elections. And in the Gambia, we have a very weak opposition parties there. Our political landscape is very immature because our opposition parties should serve as a shadow government to our current government. There are so many things happening in the Gambia. Our opposition political parties are quiet. You have a base. You have followers. Rally the people when you see something is happening in the country which is not in the interest of the masses. Go out. Sensitize the people. Use the media platform. Use the radios. Use the TV. Talk to the people. Sensitize us. We have to understand that majority of the Gambians are politically ignorant. That doesn't mean they are not educated. It doesn't mean they don't know. But someone can be educated yet still ignorant about a particular thing. And this is our major problem. We need to sensitize our people. I know this video is taking long. I don't want it to go further than this. But I am going to dedicate my time to talk about some of the political issues in my country, the Gambia, and see how best we can chart a way forward that is going to be beneficial to everyone in the Gambia. With that, I come to the end of this video. This is your boy Lamarana. Please subscribe, like, and click on the notification bell. Until I come your way, long live the Gambia. Bye.